Alright, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is a journalist gives a look into El Salvador's Alcatraz. Let's go and check it out. Let's see where this takes us, guys.
Now, the reason we don't hear much from Kamala is because she's hiding from a radical past. The media isn't interested in sniffing out her San Francisco socialist track record, but we are. The Democrat nominee wants to empty the prisons.
I absolutely am, without any question, committed to reducing the prison population. I'm not going to commit to a specific number because I want to make sure I can meet it. But I am committed to drastically reducing our prison population.
Prisons, like walls, work, separates violent people from the rest of us. Look at El Salvador. Their president rounded up all the gang members, threw them in a high-security lockdown. El Salvador went from the murder capital of the world to one of the safest countries. They have a lower murder rate than we do. Investigative journalist Shirley went down to El Salvador to check the mega prison out. Watch this.
All right, let's go.
It is the biggest and most up-to-date prison in all of the Americas. It is capable of holding over 40,000 inmates, and it is home to some of the most dangerous people in all of the world. This prison was specifically designed to incarcerate any gang member that has any affiliations with gangs such as MS-13, Barrio Teen, and they are responsible for crimes such as murders, extortions, kidnappings, narco-trafficking, drug dealing, any crime you can possibly think of, these people inside have committed.
Okay. Nobody's ever escaped this prison.
There are 8 different buildings that are designated to the prisoners. The sides of the buildings are the size of a football field, absolutely ginormous. And if you were to try to escape Secot, it literally would be impossible. Not only are there 2 walls you'd have to hop over, and one of those walls is 27 feet high with an additional 9 feet of electrical fencing that is at 15 volts.
All right, so basically what we're getting from this is that there's no escaping from this specific prison. Now, let's actually talk about what Kamala said in the beginning here. She wants to drastically lower the amount of people in prison. Listen, I fully hear what she's saying. I get it, right? But the problem here is that, yeah, you can put them all away. I like the idea of this, actually. Just keep this in mind here. How El Salvador did this here. That would be great if that could happen here, right? Specifically go to the high crime areas and then just instantly take these people off of the street. There should not be people walking around that have the ability to do all types of terrible things to our unknowing public, let's say here. But now she says she wants to release people. Okay. Recidivism is a real thing. So if you release people without giving any type of rehabilitation, like they do in Europe specifically, or in many other countries, if you're not trying to rehabilitate these people by releasing them, they're just going to do the same exact thing. Again, recidivism is absolutely a thing in this country, more so than any other place in the world, guys. I mean, keep this in mind here. We have the most people in jail, period. I think by far than anywhere else. It's not that we're more violent, it's just that we just put people in jail for, lesser things generally, guys. But I guess the point I'm making here is that if you do not rehabilitate these individuals, they're just going to go back and do the same exact thing. Okay, so her statement is somewhat scary.
But it's not just about making sure nobody gets out. They don't want any contraband getting in.
Inside this jail, you get absolutely no service. These prisoners have absolutely no contact with the outside world, and they have no way of getting a hold of anybody. And the reason why they cut off the self-service here inside this building is because gang members used to be able to run their gangs from inside these jails. However, with these new rules that they have implemented, such as cutting off the service, these gang members have absolutely no contact with the outside world. I then went through the first of many security checkpoints. And now they're even going to do another check with us to make sure that we are not bringing anything inside of this jail. They're going to pat me all the way down, and they're even going to check my socks to make sure I don't have anything inside my shoes or my socks. Before we entered into the main cell of the prisoners, we had to go through one more security checkpoint. The scanner will literally scan the entire body to make sure there's nothing on the neck, inside the stomach. It'll literally check anywhere inside of the body to make sure that they're not bringing any sort of plastic bag that could be filled with powder, any weapons, anything like that. The family members or friends might have tried to bring gang members in the past. Now it is impossible for anything to even enter.
And here's what it looks like once you're inside.
Here are some of the most dangerous people in the world. You can see they have their tattoos. MS-13 is tattooed on their forehead. These people will never, ever leave this building right here, and the lights also never shut off. And when these inmates want to go to sleep, they sleep here on...
Wait, did he say the lights never shut off? Like, I understand the concept of putting people in jail. I get that right here, but I think that specifically goes against the Geneva Convention. I definitely think that you should not have said that out loud. You should, if that's what they're doing there, whatever, right? But I'm not sure that they wanted that to be said, because I'm almost positive that goes specifically against that.
On these bunk beds that are completely steel, and the way these prisoners sleep, they are given one sheet. They don't even receive a pillow, and they don't know if it's night or day because the lights never turn off. These guys were let out of the cell. You can look at their heads. Their heads are literally plastered to the cement wall, and they're not moving. All these gangsters are afraid of their life, and their freedoms have been stripped from them.
Shirley talked to some of the gangsters. Watch this.
Now they have asked the prisoners to take off their shirts so they can show some of their tattoos. ¿Y todavía se sienten orgullosos de ser bandero?
Wow. Look at that. Look at that.
¿Sí o no? ¿Sí? ¿Y todavía se sienten orgullosos de ser bandero? And this group of gangsters' response was a little bit different than the last. No. All these guys were once prideful and running the streets of El Salvador. Now they are locked behind bars for the rest of their lives. It's pretty amazing if you think about it, what Nayib Bukele has been able to do with this country. The streets are as safe as they've ever been because all these guys are out.
Nick Shirley is an investigative journalist.
Solid.
Nick, were you scared?
Of what?
You know, not really, because those guys are behind bars and they'll be there for the rest of their lives.
Right.
When they were incarcerated, did they commit serious crimes, all of them, or were they some just associated with gangs?
Each person inside that cell, inside of that prison, has at least killed one person.
Oh.
And it's very obvious, and they all have at least a tattoo that shows that they are part of MS-13 or Barrio 18 or other gang.
Right.
And so is the president the most popular man in the world in El Salvador? I mean, the crime rate has plummeted.
Yeah, Nayib Bukele is like the savior there in El Salvador. He has literally transformed that country into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
So how do the people feel about crime now? I mean, it's gone. Is this going to spread? Are other countries down there catching on?
You know, if any country was smart, if the United States was smart, they'd do something just like this as well, to make sure that no criminal gets treated like a normal person. They get treated like a criminal inside of a cell.
Yeah, but we have constitutional rights here. We also have thousands of lawyers licking their chops every time you sneeze on a prisoner. I mean, do you think that this was cruel and unusual?
Well, it is very cruel of somebody to take a life of somebody else that's innocent. So
That's absolutely valid. I mean, yeah, do you want to treat someone decently? No, right? But we do have laws, right? And the reason why he's pointing out, do you think it's cruel and unusual? Because obviously, you know, under our Constitution, we do have the concept of being cruel and unusual. You can't do something like that, right? And also, we are also a part of the Geneva Convention, guys. And I don't know if El Salvador is, but the reason why he's asking this specifically is because he knows you can't, like, leave the lights on all day on prisoners. You can't do that. Because that's considered cruel and unusual punishment. Right? It's like not giving someone, like, for example, if they wanted to leave the lights on, they should have taken all the bunk beds out, because that's basically the same thing, right? Yeah, don't give them anywhere to sleep then, type of thing. I get it, bro. I get it, but it sounds crazy.
these guys being inside these jails is somewhat justifiable, I believe.
Do you guys notice the change? I saw you talk to some of those people. They weren't proud. Were some of them still proud?
The one guy did give me a little head nod, and he gave me a little grin when I asked him if he was proud. And the other ones, you could tell they really wish they never committed those crimes.
All right. What do they eat?
They eat beans, rice, and tortillas. Their menu consists of absolutely no protein.
No protein. And there's nothing smuggled.
Beans have protein.
There's no corrupt guard, nothing like that. No visitors from the outside, like family members or wives.
These prisoners literally have no contact with the outside world, and they cannot talk to anybody.
Well, we could never get away with it in this country because we have the ACLU.
Yeah, but you also shouldn't want to get away with that in this country. The thing about this here is, guys, I'm absolutely an absolutist when it comes to our Constitution. I love my country, okay? I love my flag, absolutely. I don't understand when people start to speak against the Constitution. We're all Americans, right? So we should all want to stand up for the Constitution. What it sounds like this guy is saying is he's pointing out things that are, I don't know, like he doesn't like about the Constitution. Either you're for the country or you're not, sir. Period. our Constitution is our Constitution. Either you're for it or against it. Which one is it? Because it sounds like the more he speaks, he's starting to kind of sound like he selectively likes our Constitution. And that's odd. I don't think I've ever encountered this guy before. You guys have never sent me a video with him speaking, but he's absolutely troubling to me. Either you're for the U.S. Constitution or you're against it. That's just how that works with me personally. And it seems that he likes certain parts of it, but doesn't like the rest of it. Make up your mind, bro.
But it is something to think about. And it's probably not what Kamala's thinking about. It's probably the opposite, but it's always nice to learn from other
Kamala
people.
wants to let him out.
Exactly.
And Kamala wants to bring him in.
That's right. Nick, thank you very much. You're a very brave man, much braver than I am. Click.
All right, so when it comes to like specifically the people that the people that were in that prison there, do we have anything like that, like a supermax? I highly doubt. Like that's not even being like intellectually honest here. I highly seriously doubt that anyone would even seriously attempt to release those type of people. Right? When I hear it being said, it sounds more like non-felonies type of thing. I don't think that if you catch a felony, bro, you're in jail. That's how that works here, guys. You need to stay there until your sentence is done, guys. That's just kind of how I see that. But the concept of just letting people go, just to let them go, I'm not sure she meant that, right? I didn't hear that at least. But I see what they're doing here. They're obviously correlating. This is a well done piece. Let's say this, to say the least, right? To pick something that she said and then find like the most logical extreme of it to show. It's interesting, guys. Keep this in mind. I'm not someone that's really interested in anything Kamala Harris, guys, but I'm absolutely here for honesty, complete honesty, intellectual honesty, guys. And it didn't sound like she actually said what he's trying to say she said, guys. It doesn't sound like it, at least. But all right, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day, and under no circumstance would I ever back a program that would want to remove. Apologies, guys. My allergies are killing me today. There's no chance that I would actually back any type of program that is allowing like people from like supermax or maximum type prisons, guys, maximum security prisons, out to the public. Guys, we are not very good at rehabilitating. And also, I would like something like this to kind of exist, but not so extreme, because, again, we can't do that based off our Constitution. Again, absolutist. It's either you're for it or against it. There's none of that. None of that nonsense in the middle, guys. Not with the Constitution. But either way, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.